Welcome everyone tuning in through TikTok. If you could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me all right. That would be super helpful. We're going to get a few people to tune in. Welcome everyone here on YouTube, Facebook. I believe we're also on Instagram. If you guys could also please give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me in sight, so I can make sure I'm not just sitting here talking to myself in spirit again. All right, looks good. TikTok, thank you so much. We'll give everybody else a second so I could see my comments section. Whatever. There's a delay with that. Looks like it's normal. All at once. All right. So, yes. Melissa Subia, thank you so much. Karen, Shauna, welcome everybody. All right. While you guys are tuning in, I want to make a couple quick announcements. I will be back next week. Next week, I'm doing Ask Ivies. So I did take some time off. I haven't seen you guys in a while. It was my in-season from August until last week. It was absolutely berserk. I did 6 new things in my life, ran tours on my own through areas and all kinds of other excursions. And it takes a lot for me to want to do something new because it triggers my anxiety. So I was super proud of myself. I in season, and it's led to many exciting new networking opportunities upcoming years. So that was going on. But anyways, I took a break. But next I'll be back doing Ask Ivy, taking your personal questions. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. We are now on winter time, and I will be back the fall, like always, every other Tuesday. Okay, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Your mini class, and the upcoming mini class is going to be on women, men, women, and relationships. November 20th. It's men and women, the spiritual divide. What is going on? Why are men and women having so much trouble coming together? Everybody has their opinions on this, but I'm going to be breaking it down one piece at a spiritual perspective. We're going to get to the root of these issues and see if we can do something about it. We also have coming up, Psychic Mediumship Course is now open for the January session, beginning 3rd, and the raffle is open. So if you didn't get to win a 100% free Psychic Mediumship Course, $2,100, you're going to want to get your raffle tickets up. The website link is above or below, depending on where in Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. And I believe it's like $5. You get 20, you get 6 or something like that. So check it out. Guys have not already done so, go ahead and get yourselves registered for the winter. Psychic Mediumship Course is a 28-week course where you get certified through the Ivy League Psychic Academy. You learn how to give professional readings to the public through myself and my assistant team, an amazing team of individuals, if I do say so myself. And there are 2 different tiers to learning. So if you're not interested in taking it that far, you could also do tier which is like 10 video downloads. And due to the recession, I made it so that you guys can make payments weekly for the classes. So this is really okay, for sure. All right, I think we are going to go ahead. It looks like we have a few more people tuned in here. So good to see you guys. I always classes when I have to take a break. I just love this aspect of what I do, where spirit gives me a topic and is like, run with it, this on YouTube for free, and allow people to ask their questions, each other, build the community. And so it's nice to be back. So today, actually I have to do my little spiel here. I am definitely out of practice. So welcome everyone. I'm Psychic Medium, Italian Arawak. I own a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy. You could check out classes at ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com if you need to book a reading, a party, an event, Rivera, psychicmedium.com. What you've got here tonight is my bi-weekly free mini I do every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube at Ask Ivy and wherever else you're tuning in. And we are talking about your life contract, make more and less. If you want to check out old classes, you can download those anywhere and get a podcast, or again here at Ask Ivy on YouTube list under mini class. So when Spirit showed me this topic, excited. Okay, your life contract, make more and do less, or you could say more by doing less, but that's a little deceptive, and we're going to break down. I was thrilled that this came up as a topic because it's something I personally, for many, many years, essentially refusing to do what I was called to earth to do, refusing to complete the tasks and the work I chose before I came to earth when I filled out my life contract. Why on earth would we avoid something we chose to do? Because it's hard work. It's not only daunting and be traumatizing to transition from more traditional work that lined you up for, that programming has lined you up for, that your parents have be safe for you to do or good for you to do. It's very difficult to transition out of that into this dynamic lifestyle, complete over. You are then abiding by your life contract and you are doing what you're doing. It required a ton of blind faith and wasn't comfortable with it. So I fought really hard against it for many, many years, knowing that I was supposed to be doing this spiritual work and hiding it, shoving it down, allowing it to turn up like disorders or complete frustration or insanity. And then when I finally gave in, it all fell into place quickly, overnight, almost, so like within a 4-month period, and crystal clear that I was on the right path. Didn't know what the next step was going to be in front of me, but I was finally on the right path. And that was really liberating. I did, as many of you may be finding in your lives, or if you remember, perhaps this has happened to you. For some of you, this is about to happen to you. Students a lot about the breaking of the legs. The breaking of the legs is the 3-part process where essentially your higher mind, the universe, right, your ancestors, guides, God, everyone's come to you and they have said, you are supposed to do this particular kind of work. And as you have refused to do that work, you're butting up against the reality and the system. You are falling to deeper and deeper states of despair, blockages, trauma, discord. And it's all areas, your relationships, your finances, it may hit your health. You would find that in these 3 different levels, it gets progressively. So I always say, level 1, the universe comes and says to you, hello, do you remember who you are? Do you remember why you're here? Do you remember what you came here? And if you say, yes, but I'm not going to do it, you get about 2 years where you start to notice you're taking some beatings. Your karma's kind of downhill, but you tend to dig in, refuse. Then we hit level 2. I call this the poking and prodding phase. This is where the universe gets a little bit more pushy with you. You may notice that people around are losing their jobs. If you're supposed to be in your career, let's say, or if you're being called, leave a relationship and follow your life contract with a different relationship. You may notice that people around you are divorcing, or that your partner has cheated, or that things appear to really be falling apart rather at this phase, we get about 1.5 to 2 years of going through these tests, these traumas. And the majority of people I have found will refuse to make the change, dig in for the long haul. We're going to go to marriage counseling. We are going to have a in this relationship. They'll say, everyone else can company, but I'm going to go down with the ship, or I'm just going to try to get this promotion, or, we don't see the tower moment. We just don't see the flames around. We don't hear the train coming on down the tracks. And the reality is that we do refuse to abide. We refuse to make the changes that would be necessary. Those changes are even scarier than what may happen when it burns down, when the train arrives, which is an illusion, and we have to get over that. So let's say you have up to 1.5 years to make the changes. You notice a soulmate enter into your life, right? A real lover who says, over here, come discover the real thing. Maybe someone from your past, comes back into your world, enticing you to sort of just examine, not necessarily divorce that day, but just examine what else might be out there. What is this telling me? Why did this person come into my life right now when I know changes? Or let's say that it's your career you're supposed to be making a change with. Someone else who knew that the company was shaky, or they jumped ship and they left and they went off jobs. Maybe some of those people are coming back and networking with you and saying, Mary, come with, I have a position for you over here. Come on over. On that time that you're going to find that your lover tries to keep you, your boss offers promotion that's way too late, whatever it is. You have to be real careful at that point. From your gut instinct, what you know you need to do. You're stepping out in that blind faith. And again, most people don't. So that puts us into level, which is the breaking of the legs. And that's where I got before I finally decided to live and abide by my life contract. Breaking of the legs is a complete deterioration of everything, from relationships to your vehicle, your career, your residency, basically anything that you use or need on a regular basis, stand up and function in the world, is going to be wiped out. And you will probably pay and try to rebuild it, heal it, get it back up and function. But it doesn't matter how many times you take it to the shop. It's going to be burnt, wiped out again, wiped out again. And I remember this happening, for example, when I went through the breaking of the legs with my vehicle. I used my car to travel where I needed it to function. That was just one of the areas that I got hit. Would break, I would put in $2,000. It would break again, I'd put in $800. It would break again, it would again. And there was nothing wrong with this car originally. So I knew that I was being hit in an area that was going to force me to go into a timeout chair. For some of you, you may literally break a leg. You may sprain an ankle. You may have a foot injury. That's how you get around in life. For others, if you use your hands a lot, it may be wrist, some type of a broken finger, a broken arm. A lot of different things will happen for a lot of different people. If you guys could post, I would love to. If you believe that you have gone through the breaking of the legs, are going through the breaking of the legs, and I would like to hear if you went through the other 2 levels. Okay, we've all gone. So let me know how this applies to your life. Being put in that timeout for an period of time forced me to say, okay, I'm done fighting. Show me again what I'm supposed to be doing. And spirit is a gentleman. Your mind loves you. It's part of yourself. The universe is here to support you. In those moments, crystal clear to me, Ivy, this is what you were told to do. This is the next step you need. Take it, in faith. I took it, and immediately comes out, red lights are turning green, the networking picks up, this rolls, that rolls, everything around me was even improving. And it became undeniable that as I took another step on that path, not knowing ultimately where it was going to lead, okay, and I was going to get my donkey out of this ditch. And it blew up within a 4-month period. It became a full-time international thing for the last 13 years. So that's, but I know hundreds of people who have other stories that are typical, but, you know, familiar for their own journey and some to celebrate. And I think we all need to speak out more. Those of us that are tracked, we need to speak out more on the benefits that come from being brave, doing it, and how you would never go back to that old way of living. The real fear is. That's where the real ego issues are, is in that and toxicity to stay stagnant for what? A paycheck? A lover who's useless? I mean, whatever it is for you, okay? Now, I do want to encourage everybody before I get into the curriculum here, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. If you want to become a member here on YouTube, you can hit the join button to see the different tiers of membership. Please, if everybody, wherever you are, could leave a comment. It helps me in the algorithm. So we will be taking questions and comments at the end of the class. So please do post them throughout. My beautiful producer, Mary, will be putting those up. All right, let's get into today's curriculum. So when living and abiding by your life contract helps you to make more and do less, I'm not just talking cash value here. Now, there are resources that are automatically going to come along with that. Really talking about health. I'm talking about mental health, spiritual health, abundance, networking opportunities, quality higher level lovers, members of your soul tribe entering into your circle. I'm talking about you completing and clearing out karma, learning so much about yourself, the levels of self-development that come from abiding by contract. I could go on and on and on. Okay. Expansion in every way, shape, and form. And it's important to understand that your life contract matches your Vedic and Western astrology. It matches your numerology chart. So I talk about that a lot here on my channel, how important it is to know the numerology chart, how important it is to understand your numerology chart, and you see that completion in your life contract. You can book a life contract reading with me at any time, all pieces together, and you get it. Okay. How much more proof do you need? Some people will never be satisfied. Okay. But for me, that's a lot of proof. I'm a skeptic. I need to see patterns. That to me is proof. I don't need a house to fall on me. That's enough proof. I've walked it out. Yeah. Huge benefit. So we talking about abiding by your life contract so that you are doing what you came to Earth to do. What I mean by this is that before you came here, before you reincarnate, yes, you chose to reincarnate. Yes, you chose planet Earth. And yes, you chose everything that is within your life contract, including your parents, even if you don't, your upbringing, including the lovers you get involved with, the that you take on, or careers, the lessons that you have to learn, any lives that have unfinished business that you've rolled into your life contract. You did all of that. You did all of. Now, when you designed your life contract, you fully understood that you had deadlines therein, and that coming to Earth needed to complete that contract. Anything outside of that contract is not the universe. So when we come here, we tend to just forget everything. Not because it isn't accessible information, but because religion, colonization, a million other things in our world have stripped us of the knowledge and wisdom, the access to that information. That way we're vulnerable, we're sheep, we can be molded into whatever that wants us to be. We have no connection, no ties to our actual roots. Roots, the most important part of our roots, is that life contract. It's easy to access, but we have to get all that other junk out of the way. Okay. So when we are abiding by our life contract, we're essentially living on path and doing what we're supposed to do. We are then able to access all of the benefits that come with, and that is tapping into the power of manifestation and universe. We're living in the flow. Okay, so when you hear people, I always think of The Big Lebowski. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. I love when the dude abides. It's like, what does that mean? That just means you're not doing someone else's job. You're not out of alignment, doing energy, time, attention, infection on things that have no business for you to watch. Even throughout that movie, right? When he did, it was very obvious that he was out of alignment. And it's this ability that you have when you're life contract to manifest, get your prayers answered, things like law of attraction, because you are proving to the universe that you are willing to show up, that you have essentially karmically earned it, or you are in the process of trying to karmically earn it. And again, spirit is, so when we talk about abiding by the light, the effort alone is something that the universe celebrates. And you have to know that the universe wants to take care of you. It wants to give you, and will make you happy and will make your life easier, as long as you're willing to do the work. Parent to child dynamic, right? That child is having a temper tantrum. They're floor in the middle of the mall, kicking and screaming. A solid parent is going to say, I don't care. I'm not picking you up. You are not getting that toy. I'm not giving you that cookie. What you want. Lay there. I'll wait. We'll wait. You have that time. Everyone's going to go around you, pass you. Okay. But I'm not a problem. So when the child decides, I'm going to pull my act, I'm going to walk with you, I'm going to hold your hand, I'm going to, behave, I'm going to do what I need to do. Everything starts, and that parent, AKA the universe, can start to give that child whatever it is that they need, and possibly even what they want. So, about effort. It's not about perfection. And I think this is where a lot of people don't want to abide by what they feel they are compelled to do. They feel is within their is within their life contract, that bold move that they really want to make in their life, create that change. They're afraid that if it's a mistake or they don't do it 100%, they will be penalized for that. And that's just not how it works. I make every single day. I almost go out of my way at this point in my life to make mistakes, because I'm just like, what's going to happen? Things going to happen. Is it embarrassing? Maybe. It doesn't have to be. That's up to me and my attitude. It cost me everything? Highly unlikely. No. It's like you're taking calculated risks, but before we're willing to do it, it feels like huge risks. So there's a lot of illusion there that's fed by society. Watch the comments. If you are around a bunch of fearful people, okay, who love to give advice, not done anything new in the last 25 years, okay, they're crusty, dusty, old, dynamity needs to go. Surround yourself with people who are living in the flow, who are living by their life contract, who are at least willing to be open-minded enough for those concepts, okay? Keep the right company to help you keep your vibe. Ultimately, though, when you are not, let's talk about what happens when you're not living by. Super awkward. Ancestors that you believe are supporting you all the time are for you, they've got your back. You may feel like your ancestors don't have your back at all. Your deceased loved ones may seem silent. You can't understand. You feel like you have bad juju, or you keep getting hit with what appears to be bad, negative, circumstance after another. It is not you're being punished. It's because you have chosen not to do for yourself what you are responsible for doing. And the natural reaction of the universe, your ancestors, your loved ones, even your guides, is to pull back and say, I can't enable you. I'm standing here. I'm waiting to step in, just like that kid having the temper tantrum whose parent was waiting in the mall. I'm waiting, but you're going to have to get up. You're going to have to take a step in the. Okay, they're back. Everybody's back. So you have to be careful of those times in your life where you may be trying too hard, pushing. Okay, that's a sign that you're going against the grain, against the wind. You should have an ease and to what you're doing. And even when it's hard, because abiding by your is definitely hard. There are times, especially during the big levels up, that can be excruciatingly difficult. But you will know we're going in the right direction. The universe is still supporting you in all those other ways that I mentioned. Okay. So all you have to do is stay confident and keep. And eventually you'll be done with that level up. You get that wave until the next level up. They're never easy, but at least they're rewarding. Unlike not abiding by your life contract, living aimlessly, habits of restlessness and lack of fulfillment, and probably judgments of the world around you. Why is it never enough for me? Victimhood mentality, a martyrdom, drug and alcohol abuse tendencies, porn addiction, hypersexuality, excessive eating. I mean, whatever it is, a video game playing, and playing. I mean, whatever it is, if you find yourself escaping into these other routes, it could be just from the action of not abiding by your life contract. Your life contract provides all of that high that you get when you abide. I want to talk about you should be paying attention to. What can you watch for being in alignment with your life contract? All right. This is a big, those of you who follow me, know I'm working on my symbology book. Plug, early bird waitlist. Okay. If you're not already on it, hoping to publish in the winter. So is huge in understanding whether or not you are in alignment with your contract, or if you need to shift and make some changes to stay in alignment with your life contract. What do I mean by symbology? I mean anything from images that pop in your head to repeat patterns of images that you're seeing out and around you. We're talking about numerology, number patterns. Here looks at the clock repeatedly at the same time. Not always, but certain number patterns will show up when you're supposed to be that direction for that particular number in your life contract. Then the number, or you may not notice numbers again for a while because you did what you were supposed to do, or you failed. Let's hope not. And it's too late. Signs are real. You may also be seeing animals all around you, not of all varieties, specific kinds of animals. Those animals are telling you what it is that you're seeing. I like to use the example with my students of birds, hawks and eagles. Hi, come on. Your guides, if you're going the wrong way in life, if you're thinking the wrong way, your guide birds from the right to the left. As you're driving, as you're walking, as you're living your birds from the right to the left. Just keep going in front of you, flying down, trying to get your attention. What is that saying? Well, the right is the future. The left is your past. You're going the wrong way. You're at risk of being stuck. The other way, from the left to the right, this is a go ahead. This is a keep going. This is a push. Okay. That's just one small example. We have everything from, colors to other people, sayings. I always say humans are the mouthpiece for God. Be a symbol. If someone around you, you overhear them saying something, or they oddly say something, and you're like, I needed to hear that right now. They may not even know they're doing it. They may be in a state, but something has channeled through them. Pay attention to what pops up on your social. I don't have time to go on my social media every day, but when I do, I'm always that I feel like something sent me there to see a particular meme or a post. Just watch for the symbology around you. This could also come in your, of course. Okay, so your dreams should be charted out, looking up dream symbology. That is the direction in your life, the redirection in your life. That's where the warnings are going to come in. See through your dreams. If you have a dream that you are all of a sudden building a business and you're on the computer and you're taking a phone, working with some people that you don't know in your waking life, and you're excited about something, talking about traveling and building it somewhere else, and this feels so real, and up, you're like, oh my God, that felt awesome. That felt real. What the heck was that? And you have to go to your natural fluorescent lit cubicle for the day that you hate at your job, and you're like, well, that was a vision. That was a prophecy. That's who you will be if you take the steps out of your life contract, calling you and saying, come home, get out of there. Okay. Ditch the move, make the change, build the thing, whatever it is. Prophecy is always there when you're ready. And it can come through, yes, your prophetic dreaming, but just visions during the day. You may think you're daydreaming. Teachers who say, oh, this kid's always daydreaming, you're probably processing what you're going to be in the future that route. The psychic mind sees the end result, and we are all psychic. We came here to do. It's whether or not you do it. Members of your soul showing up. I have found this one so fascinating over the years since my life contract. Members of my soul tribe will always show up. Typically in dreams, meet them. They may not always look the same, but I identify their energy. Members of your soul that you've reincarnated with over and over and over again. And in those dreams, you may be working with them, having meetings, having a good time, having parties, banquets, whatever. But there's an element of familiarity there. There's this great connection that you have to work together. It's fully supportive. And you're out. And they may look like they did in the last life or whatever life you're on in your dream state or through astral travel. But then you're awake now as yourself on the earth plane, and you meet them. And it's like, oh my, I want to spend time with you. I adore you. I feel like I've known you forever. And these members of your soul tribe are all different levels. This could go from your lover to a person you network with and do business with here, to someone who ends up working every single day, to a new friend. I mean, we don't know. It's all over the place. That's what a soul is. We all have this. But if you feel like you don't have this going on, it could be because you're out of a life contract. Okay, because everything in your life contract is triggering more and more of that soul tribe connection. Watch out for attacks. All right, those of you who've been following me on time know I talk about this class a lot. I did a free mini class years ago called Fighting. I just put out a part 2 as well for those who are abiding by the contract. So check out here on YouTube at Ask ID, mini class playlist, Fighting part 2. Okay, when we are about to level up, there's always a level new devil situation. And those, sadly, that come you, to stop you in your tracks from doing what you're supposed to be doing, are going to be in your bed, probably your long-term friend, to get deep into your life over recent years, could be family members. It tends to be attacks from your inner circle. These could be people that you're trusting, confiding in, or working with, employees. It just really depends. I talk in those classes about the 5 different ways that you get attacked, and all of them are from your inner circle. So watch out for the signs of being attacked or blocked because you are about to level. Now, typically, this does not happen unless you are directly dynamic within your life contract. So if your life is always kind of like easy street, I mean, you have a lot going on, it's very possible you're not leveling up and abiding by your life contract. Let's talk about divine timing. People who want to fulfill the contract, the astrology chart, the numerology chart, come and do what you came here to do. You have to abide by divine timing. And this is going to require a certain level of maturity from you. It's going to require that you have very strong character, integrity. You are willing to be uncomfortable. You can get comfortable in the discomfort, because the universe zigs and zags and times can affect what you think you're supposed to be building. And like, just take 3-5 years of hard work and just put it up on a shelf and be like, you're not for a minute. And it could be maddening. And then like 2 years later, the universe says, okay, we're going to take that down off the shelf. You're back on this. And you have to be willing. You have to be reprioritized. All right. Those of you who are really great multitaskers, any Geminis in the mix here? Okay. Or Virgos, right? Super smart, able to do mercurial people, air signs. What do we have? Libra, Aquarius. These are people. Sag is pretty good at that. You're going to be willing to roll with the punches. Easier for you to abide by your life contract. But, you know, fixed signs, water signs, people who come a lot from emotion instead of intuition, you may struggle with this type of change, knowing to accept that you may be investing in something and it may be postponed or taken away. It may never lead to this grand outcome you have in your, maybe switched over to something else. What you have to know, first of all, is yourself. You have to know triggered by being you. How the universe triggers you. It's like a bad boyfriend. You have to also understand that that is ultimately for your highest and best good. That is part of the life contract that you filled out. And the benefits are going to be, you cannot stop within fulfilling your life contract and just be like, enough. I've done enough. I don't like the way this thing keeps switching up for whatever reason that way. So you need to figure out why. Okay. A past life reading can also help you put some of that into perspective. Switch from one past life into another. We typically bring in 3 or 4. Switch from one past life into another. It could change a whole lot of things. It doesn't mean your life contract. It's part of the deal. Okay. You got to roll with it, even if it's uncomfortable. And that isn't going to happen for everyone. You need to date. All right. You have to know when to say enough is enough. I have to take this project, even though I'm a Virgo, Capricorn. You have to say, my masterpiece, I'm going to go to this new employee and pray to God they don't break it into a million pieces. You know, sometimes you have to to trust this business partner. I've tested it out enough. Okay. I have enough proof. It's okay for me, because sometimes quite literally it is part of your life contract to do so. And your perfect attitude may be exactly the thing that has to be broken. That part of your ego is part of your evolution. Okay. Letting it go, releasing it, delegating out, or charging more. Maybe increase your prices. Maybe you have to say, this is my value. This is what I'm going to need to get more back in return. That's another uncomfortable area So be willing to examine your areas of discomfort and low self-esteem or perfectionistic attitudes, rigidity in some area, and say, maybe this is part of my life contract too. I'm being tested. I have to let go of that. Okay. Because it's sort of like a tree. If you never prune it, it's never going to grow fruit. It has to happen. And we are down to just two things I want to talk about. And so I want to remind you guys, if you're tuning in here late, please give a thumbs up. Drop your questions and comments now. Donations are good. Last two things I want to talk about here. Be careful for past life influence. Past life influence means that you were born with all kinds of skills and abilities. Other people, like your teachers, like your parents, would see this in you. And typically from the time of childhood, you start getting programmed. They're grooming you. They're like, let's go to career day. You should be a teacher. You would be really skilled at X, Y, and Z. And you may notice as a kid, you're kind of like, that wasn't on my agenda. Like, really? Like, I don't really care. Or like, I don't feel any passion for that, but I like the attention. I like being told that I'm special in this area. So as you feed it, you get big results. Why? Because you're an expert at it. You did it in your previous lives. So it's sort of like in astrology, right? You don't even know you have these abilities, but here they are. The world is going to recognize that. And this is a test. Because if you are so recognized for these amazing skills and talents that you have, it could be because it's done to death. And you're supposed to use it as a tool, not to hit or stop there, but to get you up to the next level with what you're actually here to build in this life, which is risky. It's going to be brand new. It's going to require you step out. It shouldn't feel comfortable. Feel like everyone in the universe is supporting it. When people say to me, are you crazy? I say, yeah, I'm probably on the right track. Seem crazy. I'm going to do it. Okay. Because I know in my gut, that's what it is. I'm going to use all my old tools to get it done. And I'm going to take the leap to the best. Okay. At least the universe is supporting it. So be careful with societal influence and past life. The last thing I want to say, and this may be the biggest one, and this is probably where 85% of you guys tuning in are. In a clean house. You have to be willing to let go of whatever back and no longer serves you. I don't care if that's your 20-year-long marriage. I don't telling your big overgrown 35-year-old son, baby bird, I got to kick you out of the nest. I don't care if it's quitting that job that gives you medical and okay, and you think you're going to retire from there in 8 years. I don't care what it is. If you have to clean house, you have to clean house. And for some of bad habits, this could be smoking. You're like, oh, I know I have to quit. Of course you have to quit. We have the research to prove you have to quit. Stop dragging it out with the vaping and the nonsense. Next year at New Year, it's just stop. You just have to stop, okay? You have to know that when you stop and you take the steps to change, that the universe is going to support the energy, the tools, the people, the resources, the will. You may not be able to even do it, but it will come, okay? You got to step out. Don't be afraid to clean house. All right. Into questions and comments if there are any. Again, Mary, my producer, will be taking these. All right, we have one from Shauna Flint. Definitely feel as though I've been going through legs, even though I'm not turned away from spirit, just not at the point where I'd say for sure. Well, and that's all you can do is what you do next. It's not about perfection. It's about to be aware and to adapt to it. that. We have another one. We TikTok at lavender time. Wow. I had all of the above. Egg. This is not funny, but this is people. This happens. Okay. Not a joke. Broke my leg, totaled my car, lost my relationship and my job in that. Bam, level 3, breaking of the legs. Guarantee it's going to hit you. Any area where you were holding on to something or someone you weren't supposed to. And it forced full on in alignment with a bold move or jump to get that life contract. Because at that point, what else do you have to lose? I'm grateful for these things even later. All right, we have another one coming in. TikTok at Lizado Share 8. My friend cancer. She is convinced it was for a time out. She quit her job after that. And that may sound harsh and almost sacrilege, like we should never, ever, we would get something like cancer to help us to get in a contract. But disease and accidents are a huge part of this. Absolutely. And that's a beautiful thing. Every single hardship we face over the course of our lives to learn and grow in some area, every single one. Why would cancer be any different? Love that. All right, we have another one coming in here from TikTok. Keela Kim says consistency is always key to seeing the patterns that play out for you. Yes. And I love that she brings this up because we live in such quick world, a society that is based on instant gratification and more. And it's hard to find consistent. It's hard to be consistent. It's hard to surround yourself with others who are consistent to help feed that energy. So if you have no one else around you who is good at consistency, the light, do it on your own. It may not be a party. It's better than being in a giant timeout, and things do move. They move at the speed you want them to, but they are moving. And that's what's really important. All right. We have another one coming. Masubi says fighting the dark part really helpful. A lot of good info in that. Okay, excellent. So yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, again, part 1, part 2, my mini classes, anywhere you could download a podcast, but also here on at Ask Ivy up in the playlist under mini class. Thank you so much. Is new level, new devil. Get prepared. It is a pattern. It's like a science. It's Healing with Mandy says, I lost literally everything. I find myself as wife, mother, daughter in about a 2-year period. It was meant to bring me to be the new person who has shown me I was meant to be. This is so important. Often when we go through a breaking of the legs, as she's talking about, it does tend to be a 2-year period, either leading up to it, after, depending on how you use your free will. It could be a lot longer than that. I've seen people stuck in the for 5-8 years or indefinitely. So it's up to you what you do. But a lot of people who come out of the breaking of the legs phase turn into healers, light workers, and they start really diving deep into what it is that they have to give to others. Amazing. I love this. All right, we have another one coming in here from Dexter's Mom 123. I was told that once you master to learn, you leave. I am a little scared to do that work. Well, fear and ego prevent you from dying. You will die eventually. So, I highly doubt that you are going to evolve so high that you're going to like one major growth spurt. Just the fact that you're saying this means you got a long, okay? And I don't mean that in an offensive way. I mean that in a realistic, like mathematical way. Like really, when you're thinking this way, you've got a long journey. You're going to be here a minute. But when we do nothing, you're going to be here a minute wasting your time. Okay. And that's it. Is it true that when we learn our final lesson or we complete our final task that we die? Yes. And that's why a lot of people on their deathbed are hanging on. That's why a lot of people who have small minds and they're really kind of broken, in their spirit, they tend to hold on through their 60s and their 70s and their 80s and they're pushing 102 and you're like, oh my God, you never going to go? Are you never going to go? Say things like the good die young. Okay. But bad people last forever. Why is that? It's because of this. Literally what she just said. But do die young. When you're mastering something, you get to go. You get to go. That's no reason to stay stuck. Okay. So we have to keep. All right. I think we are good. All right. Wonderful. So thanks everybody for tuning in. It was so great to be back for weekly mini classes, Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, here on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. See you guys back here again in 2 weeks for another one and that topic. And I believe that's the 17th of the month. I'm not sure. I'm going to have Mary, if you could pop that up. But before that one, I will be back here next Wednesday for weekly Ask Ivy show, also at 8:30, where I take your personal questions and I give out messages for it. So, okay, you guys, I will see you then for the next mini classes. That's going to be November 10th. And the topic is Men and Women, the Spiritual Divide. What are we going to? All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great week. Thank you, Mary.